Let's continue to Jeremiah 6. Pardon for the noise on my stove. That's beeswax, pure beeswax. Just consider it the boiling of the Lord, His anger. I just wanted to say one thing before I read this, and it's worth hearing. I'm in a lot of pain in my back, so pardon me. You know when Jesus went by the fig tree and he cursed it? Do you know why he cursed it? I didn't actually know and bother to look why he did that until yesterday. And it's no different than, well, this story we're reading with Jeremiah. When he came to the tree, he noticed that, so these were the last days before Jesus' death. He saw that there was no figs on it. He saw there was no fruit on it. And so he cursed it, and it never grew fruit again. What I never knew is that represents Israel. The fig tree represents Israel. There's no fruit on it, right? I think you can understand that. There's no fruit on it, so he cursed it. That's all there is to it. I never understood that. Feels like there's someone behind me just crushing my back. It's brutal, very hard to recover from. So, Jeremiah 6, impending destruction from the north. O you children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee from the midst of Jerusalem. Blow the trumpet in Tekoa, and set up a signal fire in Beth Haserim. For disaster appears out of the north, and great destruction. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a lovely and delicate woman. The shepherds with their flocks shall come to her. They shall pitch their tents all around, with her all around. Sorry guys. They shall pitch their tents against her all around. Each one shall pasture in his own place. Prepare war against her. Arise and let us go up at noon. Woe to us, for the day goes away, for the shadows of the evening are lengthening. Arise and let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces. For thus says the Lord of hosts, cut down trees and build a mound against Jerusalem. This is a city to be punished. She is full of oppression in her midst. As a fountain wells up with water, so she wells up with her wickedness. Violence and plundering are heard in her. Before me continually are grief and wounds. Be instructed, O Jerusalem, lest my soul depart from you, lest I make you desolate, a land not inhabited. Thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall thoroughly glean as a vine of the remnant of Israel, as a grape gatherer. Put your hand back into the branches. To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Indeed, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot give heed. Behold, the word of the Lord is a reproach to them. They have no delight in it. Therefore I am full of the fury of the Lord. I am weary of holding it in. I will pour it out on the children outside, and on the assembly of young men together. For even the husband shall be taken with his wife, the aged with him also who is full of days, and their homes shall be turned over to others, fields and wives together. For I'll stretch out my hand against the inhabitants of the land, says the Lord, because from the least of them even to the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. Sounds like today. And from the prophet even to the priest, everybody deals falsely. They have also healed the herd of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Were they ashamed when they committed abomination? No, they were not all ashamed, nor did they know how to blush. They don't even know how to blush. That's how bad it is. They're no shame at all. Therefore they shall fall among those who fall, At the time I punish them, they shall be cast down, says the Lord. Thus says the Lord, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it. Then you will find rest for your souls. But they say, we will not walk in it. Also, I set watchmen over you, saying, listen to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not listen. Therefore hear, you nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth. Behold, I will certainly bring calamity on this people, the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not heeded my words, nor my law, but rejected it. For what purpose to me comes frankincense from Sheba, and sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet to me. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall on them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. Behold, the people comes from the far country, the north country, and a great nation will be raised from the furthest parts of the earth. They will lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy. Their voice roars like the sea, and they ride on horses, as men of war set in array against you, O daughter of Zion. We have heard the report of it. Our hands grow feeble. Anguish has taken hold of us. Pain as of a woman in labor. Don't go out into the field, nor walk by the way, because the sword of the enemy. Fear is on every side. O daughter of my people, dress in sackcloth and roll about in ashes. Make mourning as for an only son, most bitter lamentation. For the plunderer will suddenly come upon us. I have set you as an assayer and a fortress among my people, that you may know and test their way. They are all stubborn, rebels, walking as slanderers. They are bronze and iron. They are all corrupters. The bellows blow fiercely. The lead is consumed by the fire. The smelter refines in vain, for the wicked are not drawn off. People will call them rejected silver, because the Lord has rejected them. I'll do Jeremiah 7. Just give me a sec here, guys. I kind of have to rest my back. I got a whole bunch of beeswax back from a store that was selling from me. So I'm melting it down and putting it into stuff that I can use. I make so many things that I just people never bought. So it makes sense to do the stuff that they do. Trusting in lying words. The word that came to Jeremiah from the from the Lord, saying, stand in the gate of the Lord's house. And I know that's loud, so pardon me. Stand in the gate of the Lord's house, and proclaim this word and say, hear the word of the Lord, all you of Judah, who enter in at the gates to worship the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Don't trust in these lying words saying, temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, how do you know you're keeping God's commandments? How do you know things are going well for you? Say as a born-again Christian, that you love your neighbor, even if your neighbor doesn't love you. Just to be good to them, and if they ever need help type thing, right? That goes for everybody, but don't oppress a stranger, fatherless, the widow, and do not shed innocent blood in this place, or walk after other gods to your hurt. Then I will cause you to dwell in this place in the land that I give to your fathers forever and ever. Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will you steal, murder, commit adultery, swear falsely, burn incense to Baal, and walk after other gods whom you don't know? And then come and stand before me in this house which is called by my name and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations? Has this house which is called by my name become a den of thieves in your eyes? Behold, I, even I, have seen it, says the Lord. He sees it all right. But go now to my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it because of the wickedness of my people Israel. And now because you have done all these works, says the Lord, and I spoke to you, rising up early and speaking, but you didn't hear, and I called you, but you didn't answer. Therefore I'll do to the house which is called by my name, in which you trust, and to this place which I gave to you and your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh, and I will cast you out of my sight. And I have cast out all your brethren, the whole posterity of Ephraim. And that didn't scare them. Therefore don't pray for this people, nor lift up a cry or prayer for them, nor make intercession to me. For I will not hear you. Do you not see what they do in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem? When I hear that, it reminds me of Ezekiel, son of man, and he shows them inside the temple what they're doing, and the women weeping to Tammuz. Listen to this, verse 18 of Jeremiah 7. The children gather wood, the fathers listen, Catholics, they were speaking to you here. The children gather wood, the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead dough to make cakes for the Queen of Heaven. And they pour out drink offerings to other gods. They provoke me to anger. I'm just saying there's no Queen of Heaven. Mary is not the Queen of Heaven. Mary is not a deity at all. Do they provoke me to anger, says the Lord? Do they not provoke themselves to the shame of their own faces? Therefore, thus says the Lord God, behold, my anger and my fury will be poured out on this place, on man and beast, and on the trees of the field and on the fruit of the ground, and it will burn and not be quenched. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, and your burnt offerings to your sacrifices, and eat meat. For I didn't speak to your fathers or command them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this is what I commanded them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you shall be my people. What does that mean? I'm sure a lot of people get confused there, and I read this morning. For I did not speak to your fathers or command them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this is what I commanded them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you shall be my people. I think that's what that's saying is, no matter what I gave to you, all I was looking for was for you to obey my voice. Do those things really matter to God that much? Or does it matter more to obey him? That's what it's saying. Very difficult to speak. And walk in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you. Yet they didn't obey or incline their ears, but followed the counsels and the dictates of their own evil hearts, and went backwards and not forward. Since the day that your fathers came out of the land of Egypt until this day, I have even sent to you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they didn't obey me or incline their ear, but stiffened their neck, stiff-necked people. That's where you hear Paul say that. They did worse than their fathers. Therefore you shall speak all these words to them, but they will not obey you. You shall also call to them, but they won't answer you. So you shall say to them, this is a nation that does not obey the voice of the Lord their God, nor receive correction. Truth has perished and has been cut off from their mouth. Cut off your hair and cast it away, and take up a lamentation on the desolate heights. For the Lord has rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. For the children of Judah have done evil in my sight, says the Lord. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name, to pollute it. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I did not command. Listen to this. Nor did it come into my heart. That is so powerful. That's the only spot in the Bible you hear something like that. It didn't even come into God's heart. The all-knowing God, right? I'm not saying he didn't know. You could look at that many ways. Just saying it's so evil that it's so evil. This is probably going on today. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when it will no more be called Tophet, or the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. For they will bury in Tophet until there's no room. The corpses of this people will be food for the birds of the heaven, and for the beasts of the earth, and no one will frighten them away. Then I will cause to stop from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate,